Yes. People, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for all being here. Much appreciated. This is the afternoon Prem Show, hosted by myself and Lam, joined by the Euro expert, aka Alex. This is GNA TV, and cue the intro.
I'm here, and it's you that I want to need. Feel your heartbeat. Feel somewhere you're looking good. Feel your heartbeat. Feel somewhere you're looking good.
Yes, people. Welcome back to GNA TV. Thank you for being here. Much appreciated. It's the time again, the afternoon Prem Show. We're going to be going through next match week. We're not going to be counting the weekend games, just focusing on this week. Many games, Manchester United, you name it, we're going to be covering that. Lambs, how are you doing today?
But still a bit underwhelmed from the weekend result. I just wish that we would have managed to get the 3 points, especially knowing who we're facing on Thursday. That's not going to be easy as well. They're literally breathing down our necks right now. Everton got a win as well yesterday. So it's getting tense, guys. It's getting tense.
Fair enough. And we're also joined by Alex yet again. Alex, what are you saying, bro?
I was doing all right until last night, where I bargained everything. I captained Dominic Calvert-Lewin, and he completely bombed. And even worse, had Michael Keane at the back, and his goal got ruled out by VAR. So it's not been a good couple of days for me, ads. But I'm looking forward to the Premier League games we're about to cover.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Absolutely. People, there's 7 of you guys in here already. Make sure to smash the like button, subscribe, share the video, Discord, Twitter, Snapchat, anything you can possible. All support is appreciated. People, Jem will be joining us very, very soon. He's just got to handle a few things. So me, Lambs, and Alex will be doing it just as a free at the moment. So we'll get the games up very soon, but I'm going to come to a few of your comments. DJ Sav is in the building. He says, big up everyone. Joseph CFC says, how's everyone doing? Best intro like always. Big up to you, bro. Been here since OG days. Velv is in the chat as well. Alex says yo. Will says yo. And Velv says the stream is lagging. I don't know what's going on, man. It's very, very laggy on StreamYard. Don't know what's going on. But I'm going to get the games up now on Google. See the EPL games. People, make sure to subscribe, smash the like button, and do anything you guys can possible. I'm going to get the games up now.
VAR, like that Brighton West Brom game was an absolute calamity. Jeez. Oh my goodness.
I mean, do you know what made it? I wasn't even too annoyed about VAR. It was the fact that I've seen Gary Lineker slew VAR week after week after week. And with that, where Lee Mason literally lost the plot, he went, everyone makes mistakes, so you can't really. What do you mean? He's a Premier League ref. You shouldn't be doing that. What's he doing?
That is some mistake to make. That is some mistake to make, mate. Several mistakes, to be honest. I don't know. I thought his head just completely went. I don't know what he was thinking. Calamity.
If I'm doing a job and I'm working like Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and I turn up Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, I think I'd get fired. So I don't really know how Lee Mason's escaping things like that. But go on, actually, with the leader of the games, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Subscribe yet again, people. We are so close to that 1K mark. First game, obviously, we have Man City versus Wolves. Lambs, what are your thoughts on that game?
There's only one way it can go, really. It belongs to Manchester City. I mean, Wolves, we know they are like our resident draw merchants in the Premier League this year, but City they're just on one. I just don't see anybody stopping them. There's maybe only 1-2 teams possibly that come to mind, but Wolves definitely isn't one of them. I think this is going to be nice, easy 2-0 win for Manchester City.
Absolutely. Alex?
See, I was thinking it would be easy win, and then I have just remembered Wolves were the only team last season to do the double over City, weren't they? 1-3-2 and 2-0. But and then again, Pep rested a lot of players at the weekend against West Ham. And he doesn't tend to rest players, I've realised. He likes to keep them playing. So to me, that says he is not taking anything less than like a 3-0 battering of Wolves tonight. So I think I'm going to back Lambs and say it's going to be a City resounding win.
Yeah, absolutely. And the Wolves manager said that he always targets for a win. He doesn't target for a draw or anything else like that. Targets for a win consistently. And to be honest with you, I think his squad have let him down this season. I'll be real. For the consistency of the squad has been poor. I think there are overrated players like Adama Traore in there, just inconsistent, not good in front of goal. I think when it comes to pace, he's a beast. When it comes to being a poacher and trying to score goals, he's not at his best. But what can I say? I'm going to say 2-0 Man City. I just don't think we'll stand a chance this season. I think their man Southampton have just dropped down, and I said that they would as well. But I mean, what can I say? City's at the end of the day, so that's how it goes. And then next up, we have you've got next up. We have Leicester. Lambs, what are your thoughts?
I don't know. It's tough because you have two teams coming off a loss. Burnley defensively usually quite strong, but however, I'm not really too sure what happened against Tottenham. They completely fell apart. They got absolutely spun. Leicester obviously coming off that defeat to Arsenal on the weekend, and again picking up more injuries, which is even more of a long time concern to Leicester. And I think we're kind of starting to see it where they're picking up injuries to key players, and it's basically affecting the whole system that Brendan Rodgers has built around the squad. So you take out some of these key players and suddenly the whole system, it falls apart. Like everybody else, these rotational players, they're just not really in sync with one another. And you're sitting there and you're actually like deep in how many injuries they actually have. And it's quite significant. And because of that, I feel like they might end up falling out the top four this season once again because of this. Yeah, their squad depth isn't great. I can see this ending in a draw. Both teams eager to bounce back. I'm going to go 1-1.
Fair enough, Lambs. Fair enough. Alex?
Ironically enough, I'm backing a draw as well, but for completely different reasons. So Burnley are pretty good at home. It's their only place where they do well, really. I think they've got it here somewhere. They've at home. They've got 4 wins, 4 draws and 5 losses, which is solid enough. But then Leicester have won 9 times away from home, drawn 3 times, and lost just once. So basically, Leicester are not losing this game. But Burnley will be dogged enough, I think. And like Lambs mentioned, they'll probably bounce back after the Tottenham performance. And I think this will be a draw. But this is a big test for Leicester, I think. If Leicester really want to cement them, I know we keep saying it every year, but if Leicester really want to cement themselves as we are top 6, top 4 teams, you have to beat teams like this. You have to beat Burnley because Burnley always lose to the teams like Manchester City, Chelsea, United. So if you want to be a part of that group, you've got to join the club of smashing Burnley at the weekend.
Yeah, absolutely, Alex. Absolutely. Personally, for me, I think Leicester are absolutely going to slap up Burnley. I think they're a team that can bounce back very, very well. I think they're well structured still. I know the thing is, this is weird. I think they will drop out the top 4. And the reason why I say this is because we've seen it happen before. And Didi's got injured, they've dropped out. Madison's got injured, they dropped out. Vardy wasn't consistent enough, they dropped out. And these 3 players especially are all injury prone. And this is the point I'm trying to say. But we have Jem in the building as well. What are you saying, bro?
Yeah, not bad, man. Not bad, not bad. What was happening?
Let me just talk about the Leicester game.
Leicester and Burnley.
Okay. Leicester and Burnley, yeah? Okay. Leicester are winning, aren't they? Let's be serious. Like, you've got all these injuries. They're still going to win 1-0 because Burnley are shocking. Let's be serious. Like, they were shocking in their last game. So, I can only see a Jamie Vardy, like, a goal inbound, and it may be like a tight 1-0 or something. But yeah, I'll go over Leicester win. I think they'll bounce back.
Interesting, because me and Alex have gone for a draw in this game.
It's possible. It's possible. It's definitely possible.
They've been picking up a lot of injuries, like their key players. Harvey Barnes, the latest casualty, and like he's been brilliant. Let's not lie for them as well. So
yeah,
that
is true.
Absolutely, absolutely. People, before you move on to the Sheffield game, make sure to subscribe, like the video, and share. Follow our Instagram page, GNA TV Official, in the description. And go follow our Twitters as well. Next up, Sheffield versus Aston Villa. Lambs, what are your thoughts on this game?
Do you know what? I thought Villa would struggle without Grealish, but, fair play to them. They dug in, they got a result against Leeds, which wasn't actually didn't look that easy for them in the end. But, they've got a good goalkeeper. They've got a fairly good squad as well. So I think Sheffield are done out here, to be honest, like down and out. So I think Aston Villa will win, possibly a 2-1 win. It'll be narrow.
Fair enough. Alex?
I think it's got to be a Villa win, really. Sheffield, there is a point that they could have reached where if they turn their form around, they might have pulled a great escape. But I think it's impossible now, and I think their players are starting to realise it. So, and also Aston Villa have got decent away form, and their injuries are a lot less than this game for Sheffield. I think Sheffield still might have Musa out, Sander Berge out, John Egan out, people like that, Chris Basham. So it's got to be a Villa win for this one. And another one too. I think it'll be the 11th loss at home for Sheffield United if they lose on tomorrow.
Yeah, it will. 100%. Jem?
Aston Villa all day, innit? Let's be serious. Well, Sheffield United they're playing, innit? Because I can't see the screen. It's Sheffield United, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Sheffield United are dead, mate. Right, come on, let's be serious. They are a dead outfit. Like Aston Villa are actually playing quite. I mean, I say quite well. They're in and out with their performances. Jack Grealish, is he back? Do we know? Is he back from injury? I've not heard anything about it.
Chill out.
That could be one of the things that may allow Sheffield United to get a draw because he's an important player for them. But yeah, I still expect him to win with Ollie Watkins up front. Ollie Watkins has been on form, hasn't he, to be fair, this season. He's been playing very well, leading the line. Good out and out striker. It actually reminds me a bit, Alex, of a bit like of a Diego Costa mould. The way he holds the ball up, brings people into the game. He's got pace as well. He can score goals as well. He's still got a long way to get to that level, but he's of that mould, isn't he, when you look at him in terms of structure and stuff.
That's a big compliment to pay to him. I tell you what, maybe. I mean, he obviously, I guess, physically doesn't. When you look at him, he doesn't strike you as a Diego Costa type because he's not as well built and stocky. But
he holds the ball up very well. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
He's very good.
Yeah.
He plays a lone striker up front, and he uses his strength and his pace to get behind people, doesn't he? I know. I mean, there's not a massive similarity to him, but he's along that mould, and I feel like that mould's a dying breed at the moment. There's not a lot of strikers that can just play like they do up front on their own and completely boss a defence like Drogba used to do, Diego Costa, the Ibrahimoviches and stuff like that. So, yeah, man.
Yeah, I think he's really good at link-up play. And Chris Welch in the comments there as well was just saying to watch out for Villa because they've got 2 games in hand. And where are they in the Premier League table at the moment? They are 9th. And just 6 points off of 4th place West Ham. Something I didn't think I'd ever be saying at this point in the season. But yeah, Villa and Watkins, team to watch out for. I've said
Villa are a really good team. I think even with Grealish out of the team, I think they're well structured. I just think that they're inconsistent. I mean, saw that in their loss against Brighton. They were horrible and that's how they've been playing recently. But I still think they're going to win in Sheffield United. I think they're clearly the worst team that's ever been in the Premier League. And they're proving why that's the case. So I'm going to say a 3-0 Aston Villa. I don't think Sheffield stand a chance, to be honest with you. People, get your thoughts in the comments. Who's going to win, Villa or Sheffield United? Next up, my team, Crystal Palace versus Manchester United. Lambs, what are your thoughts on the game?
Usually I'd be a bit like suspect of Manchester United, what with the players out of their squad at the moment and, not really having that much depth, or many options to turn to. But, I think Cavani is coming back or he's on his way back, which is good. That's something at least. I think if it was at home, I think a draw could definitely be possible, but United actually have a very, very good record away from home. I think they've gone 20 games unbeaten as well. So I do think I don't see this being anything other than a United win. Because I still think they are lacking options and creativity. I think they will be relying on Bruno to have a good game. And if Crystal Palace can silence that threat, then maybe they could possibly get something out of Manchester United. But I think if Bruno turns up, I think Man United win this game. I'm going to go for a 2-1 win to United.
Fair enough. Alex?
This would be the game that I would bet the most money on this week. It's got to be a United win. It's more as well. I think Palace, ordinarily, they could cause issues, but they've got Zaha possibly out, Schlupp still possibly out. But I think the biggest issue is they've got James MacArthur out, who I would dare say is probably the most underrated midfielder in the Premier League, because every single game he plays, he's nothing below a 6 or 7 out of 10, and he's always solid. But with him out of the team, I think he's actually been the quiet reason why Palace has struggled so much recently. So I think, this has got United win written all over it.
Yeah, it's actually time for a bit of revenge, actually, man. We didn't, we're the reason why we lost our first game in the Premier League. But, Jem, what are your thoughts, bro?
I think Palace are done this season. I feel like they're in holiday mode already. They're sitting mid-table, not much to play for. Man United, on the other hand, sitting in second, want to keep away from the people below them. We want to keep winning. Obviously, we know the 20th title is gone for them moving forward. Man United are away, aren't they? I think Edison Cavani's back, which is a big. He's been a big miss for you guys. I don't think he's have an out-and-out striker, and in this game, I feel like it'll probably be one of them Bruno magic moments that win you a game. So I'm going for like a 2-0 Man United on this one.
Fair enough. And to be honest with you, I'm not confident we'll hold a clean sheet down either. But what I am confident is that we'll actually win the game. So I'm going to say a 3-1 Man United. I think it's time we return the favour and give them a 3-1. But people, before we move on to the next game, make sure to smash the like button, subscribe, and do what you have to do. Follow all of our Twitters and our Instagrams down in the description. Next up, we have West Brom versus Everton. Good game. Lambs, what are your thoughts of this game?
Well, obviously West Brom got incredibly lucky in their last game as well. I think obviously the referee in VAR was clearly on their side, but also you have to basically question Brighton. And again, it's the same argument with Brighton, because I really do like Brighton. They play great football and it's great to watch, but it's the same old story. Like, they don't take their chances. How can you miss 2 penalties in a game? Please, you miss 2 penalties, you end up losing the game. Like, you have no one to blame but yourselves. But I think Everton right now, they're just on fire. They're just doing enough. And again, that's another team that people really need to watch. I think, as well as being already serious top 6 contenders, I think they may well even start thinking about pushing for top 4. With the run they're going, they've still got a game in hand as well. So I see nothing when Everton win. West Brom, once again, are going down. So I'm going 2-0 Everton.
Fair enough, Lambs. Fair enough. Alex?
I'm backing an Everton win as well. I have to, because otherwise my fantasy team's in the bin. But more than that, Lambs has actually touched on an interesting point there about they're going to be chasing top 4. Dominic Calvert-Lewin yesterday was actually coming out and saying that he thinks Everton, if the mood in the dressing room is that they belong in the top 4, they belong in the Champions League. So they're not going to be, Jeb was mentioned about Palace there. I don't think Everton are anywhere near holiday mode. They're going to be really going till the final day, see how high they can get. I'm not sure who's injured for this game. In fact, I'm just getting it up now, because Everton have done well without players like James Rodriguez and Calvert-Lewin and Richarlison at times. But it looks like Rodriguez could still get minutes this match. Tom Davis might be out slightly, but Allen's returned, and that's a big win for them as well. So I just can't see. I can't see Conor Gallagher and Carl Barkley beating Everton this match.
Yeah, fair enough, Alex. Fair enough, Jim.
I think Everton will win comfortably. I think they're a better. I actually think they're even a better team than Liverpool at the moment. I think they're going to see, if they keep Ancelotti, they've got a better chairman, they've got a better board, a board that will probably improve their squad going into next season as well. There's good things happening at Everton right now, and they've got a good squad already that they can also improve on. So I think Ancelotti is a big key for them, keeping him. But they will beat West Brom. West Brom are just, they're trying. I know they've got Big Sam and he can cause a setup. He can upset a game here and there. But a game like this, I just don't see where you stop the likes of Dominic Calvert-Lewin and people like that. So it's going to be another 2-0. I don't think West Brom will score. In my opinion.
Yeah. Fair enough. I'm gonna back that. I say 2-0 Everton. And at the start of the season, Allen and Decore were needed in that midfield so much. Them two players are brilliant, and Decore punished us in the 3-3 draw. Decore is a beast, and he'll get on the end of any ball he can. So if them two play together, I think Everton are gonna have a goal fest. Probably a 4-0, 5-0 maybe. West Brom are up. They're on the last legs. They're done. They're getting relegated. Who's next? Liverpool versus Chelsea. Lambs, thoughts?
The big one, the battle of the two Germans. Yeah, I think this is another really big test for Tuchel as well. And so far he's kind of come through his tests a little bit unscathed. Fantastic result against Atletico Madrid. Obviously facing Manchester, obviously facing Spurs. That was, I know they were in terrible form, but that was still an important win. Facing Manchester United, I think we were unlucky not to get the 3 points, and that's partly to do with our players just not being clinical enough, and again, also partly to do with the way that Manchester United set up. Now, Liverpool are not going to play or set up in the same way Manchester United are, so I actually fancy us having a better chance because the way they're going to play will probably suit us as well. And the fact that we've got more options, better squad depth and rotation than Liverpool, I think will be to our advantage. And even so, I feel like Liverpool's form recently has been questionable. Yes, they've got a win against Leipzig, but we know why. Yes, they got a win against Sheffield, but we also know why. And I think we'll possibly just have that little bit of an edge to just get one over them this time. I think I'm going to go for 2-0 Chelsea.
2-0 Chelsea. Fair enough. Alex?
2-0 Chelsea. It's not interesting. That's assuming Chelsea can create a chance and finish it, which is a bold assumption at the moment, as we've seen at the weekend. But Liverpool, obviously, at the moment, still got a bunch of injuries. They recovered at the weekend with Sheffield, but one might say they're recovered. One might say it's a bit like when Frank Lampard got a cup game against Morecambe in the middle of, I don't know if it's Morecambe, but got a cup game in the middle of a bad run, and it's simply a worse team to play. So I'm leaning towards a narrow Chelsea win, and I'm thinking, but it depends who starts. I think from a Chelsea perspective, you don't want Giroud starting this match again because I don't think I've said this before. He's a player you kind of want to bring off the bench because you don't know if the game is the one he can impact until it's already started. I think Werner needs to come back into the team for this one. His confidence is slowly building, and I think all he needs is more minutes and then more tap-ins and things. Hopefully it'll build up for him. And he didn't get much time against United. So I'm going to back... I'll back Chelsea with a narrow 1-0 win.
Yeah, fair enough, Alex. Jem?
Yeah, before we move on, there's nearly 27 of you. Please smash the like button, people. Come on, let's try and get this up to 30 likes, yeah? Because not good. I'm looking at likes. I'm like, what's going on, people? This ain't like us. So come on, let's go. What we doing? Yeah, can we... Well, in terms of this game, I think that if Chelsea are going to beat Liverpool at Anfield, this is the time. Like, they've got so many injuries. They're not in the best of form. It's not going to have any easier chance to go to Anfield, especially the way Chelsea have been playing, and get a result. Thiago Silva's back in as well. He's in training, so that's another big improvement to the squad. I know Velvish one's saying Jota, Fabinho, and Alisson are back. I don't think that will be enough in my eyes, even with them. There's just, losing Henderson and Virgil van Dijk, that's the two natural leaders within their team. And taking them two out for me is a bigger loss. I think Fabinho is very good. I think he will improve them. Alisson's obviously, he's just great, isn't he? He hasn't been great recently as much. Jota will bring them goals. Will he start? I don't think so. I think you'll see the front three of Firmino, Mane and Salah. Chelsea will go back to the normal Jovicic in the middle. With Kante. Well, actually saying that, Kante may even get in his team, but I doubt he'll play. I think it'll be Jorginho and Kovacic. I think Werner's got to play like Alex said as well, because I think where they play such a high line, I think that Werner will just thrive off that. The idea of being able to get around the back, playing off as a second striker. Don't be surprised if it's Werner and Pulisic playing up front rather than a Giroud and a Werner, or a Tammy and a Werner as well, because we might just opt to just go with pace for this one. We don't really need, ideally, to have a target man on the pitch. But, you know, it's going to be interesting. I think we can beat them. I always back my team. I think we can go there and get a job done. If we do win, I think we'll either beat them 2-0 or we will draw 1-1. That's what I'm going with.
Damn, just to hop in there as well, because I saw I see Valvishman back in Liverpool in the comments. I saw Ben there as well saying, how confident are you with Salah versus Rudiger? I mean, I've got a couple of things just to throw out there. I think Rudiger's been excellent since Tuchel's taken over. I think he's brilliant so far. And also, at the weekend, there seemed to be, again, criticism of Kante when he had probably his best game in the Chelsea shirt all season against United. And
yeah, he did.
Yeah, I just wanted to throw out there because I have no idea where that criticism was coming from.
Blasphemy. After that, I'm still seeing people saying, "Oh, he's not world class." He's like, what does the guy have to do? He's coming off the back of an injury as well, and there's already so many competitions for places, and he comes back and he puts in a performance like that against that low block that Manchester United set up in. Brilliant. He nullified their midfield. Nullified.
No one. I mean, no one in the Premier League would not take N'Golo Kante in their team. Every single team in the Premier League would bite your fingers off to have him in your team. End of. And he's the only world-class player in my eyes, other than Thiago Silva, we've got in our team. I'm talking world-class, yeah. So people that sit there and try and find digs about N'Golo Kante, the digs that they try and find is, he hasn't been himself the last 2-3 seasons. Yeah, because he's actually been injured quite a lot. So you haven't seen a lot of him in the teams as much. In seasons, he's missed 3 to 4 months easily of football throughout a season for Chelsea. So yeah, there is a definite level drop. The guy's not been playing. Do you know what I mean? So, but against Man United, he showed his class. Yep. His class against Man United was immense. He pocketed Bruno. Do you know what I mean? So... It is what it is.
I mean, before I give my prediction, I just want to say the lines are opening soon, people. And I also want to say that I think Kante is one of the most unique players to ever step foot in the EPL. I'll be honest. I think what he does, like, how can you have speed, be able to go forward well in patches and manage to defend so easily? I don't see that often these days. You don't see that often these days. It's very, very rare. And I think his presence, even if he has a back, I think his presence with energy in the midfield when he's there in the whole team. Play better with him in the team personally, and yeah, because of that, if he plays against Liverpool, I think it's going to be 3-0 Chelsea personally, and that's not me just saying that. I think that Chelsea are in a better state than Liverpool at the moment. So I mean, what else can I say?
And you know, he always turns up. Like, he always has such a good game against Liverpool. Even if we as Chelsea end up losing, Kante from Chelsea always shines against Liverpool. It just seems to suit him coming up against that kind of opposition for some reason.
Yeah, I agree. I absolutely agree. People, we're going to open up the lines now. So the link is there. Come and have your say on any game you want to possible, any players, anything that you've heard in the news. There have been a few discussions about, obviously, the handball and and about how officiating should be moving forward after that game. Because personally, for me, it doesn't matter if it's a foul or not. I think both sides can agree that it should have been dealt with better. It actually should have been dealt with better. No way should a referee be having words with a player. No way should he be doing that privately and then telling Luke Shaw he's not allowed in the FA. I don't know how Luke Shaw's been. I don't know how it's been cautioned. I don't know why he's been cautioned. But first of all, we have Will in the building. What are you saying, bro?
Hello, everyone. Is everyone good?
Hi, Will.
Bro. Yeah, I'm really confident for the Liverpool game. I'm really confident. I'm hearing all the Liverpool fans go, Jota's going to be back. Fabinho's going to be back. That's good, because when we beat them, they'll have no excuses. No excuses. If I'm being honest, I think this will be... We've just played United. Yeah, we drew. Then we got Liverpool and Everton. 3 difficult games. I think this will be the easiest.
Oh.
I think this will be the easiest. I honestly do. I think we'll probably win maybe 3-1. I'm very confident, and this could get clipped up, but I don't care. I'm gonna be confident for once.
Will, if I lived with your confidence,
confident as you.
Will, if I lived with your confidence, I wouldn't have been a virgin for 21 years. I appreciate it, mate. That is fantastic.
I'm very pessimistic normally, but it's against Liverpool. I hate Liverpool so much. Their fans they just give it everything. So they need it back. They need it back. We need to fight back for once.
They need patterning. They do. And Will, I want to ask you, because I know how you feel about players who get overhyped. What are your thoughts on everyone saying that we've got Jota?
I mean, he had a good purple patch at the start of the season, and then got injured. You know, that's all it is really.
I think Rudiger's body. I think personally for me, I like Rudiger, but I'm not just saying this. I think Rudiger's gonna have a good game against Liverpool. I think this is his game. I think it is.
I mean, as a neutral to touch on Jota, I think Jota is a really good player, but if Liverpool fans are saying he's back and everything, I mean, I would love to get I can't remember his name, mate, but the Liverpool fan in the comments slipped my mind. I didn't want to mispronounce it. I don't want to be rude, but I'd like to get your thoughts on the fact that, like, how much training time has he had? He's had no match fitness for about 3 months. You can't just throw, as we've seen with Gareth Bale, who has quality. You can't just throw someone in and you can't throw someone in and expect amazing things. So maybe he will light a match, but he's not going to be fit for 90 minutes. He's not going to be able to do everything. So there definitely needs to be a level of reality talking about things like Jota's back.
Now, speaking of Liverpool fans, we have Velv in the building. Velv, what are your thoughts on those comments, mate?
Yeah, with the Jota one, he's not going to start. Like, he was fit last week, but he got an illness on Sunday. I was like, oh, if he didn't pick up an illness, he might play like a few minutes in the Sheffield United and probably start at Chelsea. But it happened, so probably might come off for the last 20 minutes of the game. So we had to play.
Who would you play though? I'm gonna come to Liverpool fan first, and I'm gonna come to Lambs and Will. Then I'm gonna get Alex's thoughts on both lineups. Velv, who would you start for your starting 11?
It's actually a tricky one because it depends. I'll go with Alisson, Trent, Kabak and Phillips, and Robertson.
Yeah.
And here's a difficult one. The midfield, I would say Genie, Curtis Jones, and Naby Keita. And our front three, Mane, Salah, Firmino.
I'm trying not to laugh. I'm trying to hold a laugh back from hearing that defense. That defense.
Listen, it's the defense in the midfield for me. To be fair, like, fair enough. Like, I'll give you your attacking line. Nobody can deny that. But
before I come to
that defense doesn't scare me at all. Knowing who we have in midfield.
If Klopp plays Fabinho, I won't be too worried. But yeah, if you play Werner, then you will have a field day.
Yeah, no, and I've been hearing all this crap as well. People about saying that Fabinho is a better centre back than Harry Maguire. Like, I'm sorry. Like, how is this guy? You cannot compare a second. Like, that's his second division position. That's his second position, a centre back. I wouldn't even compare him to anyone. I guess you could say possibly players who ain't really broken out yet, or they're just on their last legs or something like that. But there's no way I'd compare him to the top class midfielder. Have you seen Rudiger and Maguire's stats? But Rudiger's only been playing a bit this season, and the stats already nearly thrown up to Fabinho's. But what I will say is, I rate Ketia, but he's never going to be back to his best because of his injuries. He's never going to be back to his best.
It's sort of a shame, isn't it? It's a shame.
It is a shame. It is a bit of a shame because I would have taken him at United in a heartbeat. I think on his day, he's better than Fred. I think on his day, he's better than McTominay. And you know what? He's another player that we were looking at before he came to Liverpool. Did we take our chances to get him? No, we didn't. Maybe we could have made sure that he stayed fit, but we move. Lambs, I'm going to come to you first, then Will, and then Alex. Who would you start in your starting 11 against Liverpool?
Okay. Well, obviously, Mendy is going to be in goal. Is it what I would do? What I think Tuchel's going to do?
Lam, should I help you out? Should I give you the predicted lineup and then you can see if you agree? All right, so the predicted lineup is Mendy in goal, Azpilicueta, Christensen, Rudiger, and then midfield, Reece James, Kante, Kovacic, Alonso, and then the front three of Mount, Havertz, and Werner.
Okay, do you know what? Now that you've confirmed, because I think he probably is going to go for like a wing-back system, again, but I was just thinking I would like to see him try something different. I would like to see him revert back to a back four, and see how it goes, because we are missing that clinical edge, and I think while the system has improved us defensively going forward, it's still the same. Like nothing's really changed there. So I do stress that obviously it's important to make sure we don't concede, especially against Liverpool, who we know they do have that attacking threat. Do I trade in? Okay, I wouldn't play Alonso. So I'd take him out. That's for sure.
No.
Oh, you want to play Chilwell?
He's too slow for that. I wouldn't start Jorginho in this game. I'd keep Kante and Kovacic, to be fair, because we need to shut them down in midfield. Basically, we need to stop them from getting the ball forward, and I feel like our midfielders can do that. And again, like Jorginho is not somebody I trust for these big games, and this is why I understand why Jem's not a big fan of him, because up against United, up against City, up against Liverpool, he's going to get bullied off the ball. He's going to lose possession, critical areas, and we're going to end up conceding. Would I play Mount? Actually, no. I'd take Mount out. I'd probably put in Cho. I'd put Havertz there. I would play Timo. This is a game. This is a game for his pace. Other than that, pretty much agree with everything else. I'd still keep Christensen and Rudiger in there, even though Thiago Silva's back. I would like to see him fit and playing for the Atletico Madrid game. So if he could keep his fitness, get him back in time for that I think that would help, especially knowing that they've got some of their important players coming back for that game.
Yeah, fair. Okay, well, what do you think? Do you want to run the lineup again, or have you got any?
Is Hudson-Odoi injured?
No, he's not. Oh wait, hang on. We don't know. He is doubtful just because he went off at half-time in the last match. But it didn't look too serious, and there's been no word about it. He's not completely ruled out.
See, I've got a massive dilemma here because you can't really drop Kante. Do you know? Okay, Mendy in goal. Then I'd go for Azpilicueta, Christensen,
Rudiger,
yeah. Then I'd go Chilwell because I don't want to see Alonso. With Alonso, I sort of love him in a way for some reason. It's a bit odd, but I do love, not as a player, just as like a person for what he's done for the club. He's won trophies with us, but no, not against Liverpool. So
Are you sure you want to play Chilwell?
Yeah, Chilwell.
Because I'm saying it right now. Previous history, Chilwell always gets destroyed by Trent and Salah.
We're going to get destroyed on that side either way. Might as well have Chilwell.
Midfield?
If Hudson-Odoi is fit, I'd play him in right wing back, and then as the two, I'm going to keep Kante in there, and I'm going to drop Kovacic and put in Jorginho.
Come on, Will.
Play Jorginho.
Let's let him have his lineup. Go on, Will. Keep going. Then you're front three.
It is not common by Ben Russell.
I'm gonna go for Havertz, Werner, and Pulisic.
Havertz, Werner, and Pulisic. Sorry, I wasn't laughing at a thing. I was laughing also at Ben Russell's comment. Don't forget, lads. Ziyech lads, he's XSP expected shisha unmatched in the league. That's a world-class comment from Mr. Ben Russell. Well played.
Has Havertz been playing in recent games?
No, I'm gonna touch on both Liverpool and Chelsea. So I think if you start a back four of Fabinho, Robertson, Alexander-Arnold, Kabak, that's like 3/4 of what you want. Kabak, I think Kabak, if you make him a full signing, he could go on to be a decent player. But at the moment, if anyone's seen the film Doctor Strange, where he gets put in the astral projection and he goes through a load of shit, that's what Kabak's like right now. He's come out of Schalke, and that's like getting pulled through a hedge backwards. So he's a bit traumatized at the moment, so we'll leave him alone. But I think
he's like our fastest centre back in the club at the moment. So.
Yeah. With Fabinho, he is quite quick and he's very physical. So I actually think Lam spoke about tactical surprises, almost like changing the formation. I'm not sure the formation change is needed, but more, I think Havertz is a good player to start. If he can, Tuchel's already said he envisions him as a false nine.
Yeah.
I think the best way to beat a Liverpool back four is Havertz dropping deep and having two, maybe Werner and Pulisic running beyond him, or Werner and Mount, and that's where you could have some issues caused for Liverpool.
At the moment, Pulisic needs to earn his place back.
Yeah. It's on the Marvel thing, Captain America needs to earn his place back. I think fair enough. So, yeah.
Absolutely.
America's been benched.
There we go. We've got smooth today with all the references. But yeah, I think in terms of the midfield as well, since the Chelsea midfield is quite an interesting thing to talk about. Kante and Kovacic played really well against United, but I want to say, Viv, what if you as a Liverpool fan, what midfield combination do you want to see least, or what do you want to see the most? If you see Kovacic and Jorginho, are you going to be salivating at the prospect of that, or what's your thoughts on it?
Seeing Kante against United, I'll be scared of Kovacic and Kante. To be honest, I don't rate Jorginho. To be honest,
I don't either.
He's not good.
I'm just gonna silently disagree. But
we have Aaron here as well. Aaron, what are you saying, bro? You good?
Yeah, not too bad, thanks. I'm not gonna lie, I could have come on earlier, but I've had a mad 48 hours with Darren Moore leaving yesterday. I was answering some questions from a Sheffield Wednesday journalist and popping on 2 live streams last night, and then today I've had to chat to Ian Danter from TalkSport. So yeah, mad 48 hours with TalkSport, but yeah, all good. It's nice to jump onto a Premier League stream now.
Yeah, man. Bro, you're on a massive grind at the moment, man. Big up to you. Give me your thoughts on the games that are being played this week.
Should be interesting. I'm going to get them up on my laptop while I'm talking here. I think that there's a good mixture of games. I think there's a good mixture of relegation, fighting at the top. I think there's going to be some good clashes down at those levels. Looking at all the games starting today, I mean, Man City Wolves straight away. That's going to be a huge clash. I think Man City's got the best chance at 3 points again, but you never know with Nuno Espirito Santo. He could pull something out of the bag right at the depths, try and get Wolves back in the hunt, to be one of the outside position hunters for Europe. But we'll see. I think it's going to be a high mid-table for Wolves, but I think this is the easiest 3 points for Man City. Obviously, Burnley, Leicester, that's going to be a good clash. I think Burnley need to get back in their defensive shape after the Spurs defeat. And, Leicester don't want to bottle top 4. So I think, again, it's going to be 2 clubs fighting for different reasons. Sheffield United, Aston Villa. Now, even though Aston Villa beat Leeds recently, I think this could be Sheffield United's best chance to get 3 points out of this season now. I think this is... If they don't get 3 points, we can confirm they're down. They're pretty much all but relegated, but I think they'll confirm themselves to be relegated if they don't get the 3 points here. Not mathematically, but in my opinion, they'll get relegated if they don't beat Aston Villa. Crystal Palace United. Now, people may look at that and say, United's going to walk this 2 or 3-0. But if you look on the first fixture, 3-1 Palace, and this was back when United barely had a pre-season. So... And you look at Crystal Palace's injury list, they're going to have to really galvanise this squad, and Roy Hodgson's going to have a big chance to galvanise this squad together. So, this is going to be a big test for Palace to try and get the double over United. If they do, bye-bye to the title race officially. And, West Brom Everton, that's going to be a wonderful clash as well. I think that, Everton, I think will get the victory. I think Sam Allardyce has not really worked the change from Bilic to Allardyce. I think that, if Bilic's available, we'll take him at Rovers next season. But I think with Sam Allardyce, I think what West Brom have done is they've tried to risk it, take the gamble, even after the draw with Man City, and bring in an experienced relegation fighter like an Allardyce. But you look back in the old Premier League back in 04-05, when Harry Redknapp never got relegated as a manager, went to Southampton to take over from Steve Wigley, and he ended up getting relegated as a manager. And that was, they were one of the founding members of the Premier League. So, anyone can get relegated at any point in time. So, I think this could be trouble for Sam Allardyce. This could be one of his most threatening seasons. But from an Everton perspective, very, very good. And looking at Liverpool-Chelsea, biggest clash of the week. got to say biggest cost of the week. I think Klopp's got his best chance at redemption, but I could see Tuchel getting 3 points out of it. And then obviously Fulham Tottenham. I see Tottenham maybe getting 3 points out of it. However, with Fulham's form, I could see one of the only upsets on the card for this week. So it all looks good for this weekend and to see the likes of Burnley and Arsenal play. So good mixture of games, and hopefully we'll see. I'm looking specifically at the likes of Sheffield United, West Brom, Newcastle, because they could be potential opponents in the Championship next season if we go up. So, I'm looking at their style of football. Wilder might possibly leave at the end of the season. So it's going to be interesting. Good mixture of games, but very exciting football.
Yeah, absolutely. JB, I think your comment is completely scandalous. He says Kante was poor against United. Can't see him starting against Liverpool. JB,
This is probably a Liverpool fan, a Spurs fan.
Yeah, he's not a Liverpool fan.
You know those.
The most threatening midfield partnership Chelsea can put out is Kovacic and Kante with Jorginho as that impact, as the impact box to box backup to bring an extra bit of energy into that Chelsea midfield to push on for the last 30, 35 minutes against Liverpool that might throw the kitchen sink if they're 2-0 down at half time.
I think Liverpool shit.
The problem I have with Kovacic and Kante is not them individually. It's the partnership, as in with Kante, you need someone just sitting behind him to give him freedom to press. And with Kovacic, he needs to have the freedom as well to roam and to take on a man and to almost like create a little bit from a deeper position. That's the reason I don't like them together. Because I think I
absolutely get your point. I get your point because Kovacic's a box-to-box playmaking, attacking midfielder. Conte's a very attacking and defending playmaker. If they're given too much freedom, both of them, then you leave a nice wide open gap. Jorginho is the defensive holder to help bridge the gap between the two and help create less freedom for them, but create the same amount of freedom you would get from a playmaking too. So I do get your point on that one.
I'm just going to hop in on a couple of things quickly.
Go on, Alex.
Yeah, because I answer two things because there's still a bit of back and forth in the comments about Conte, but just to clear that up as well, he completed 5 tackles and 5 interceptions against United, which, if you know Premier League stats, that is an absolutely ridiculous amount. He's basically the sole reason that United were losing the ball in midfield. But oh god, my mind's slipping a bit here. Kante and Kovacic as well. The partnership, I think both of you guys, Aaron and Will, you're right about the fact I think when they've played together, their partnership has been a bit weak. Sometimes they get pulled out of position. I remember looking at a piece. Well, I think the last time Chelsea might have played Liverpool, they were getting they kept pushing forward. And they were just getting torn. It's helping Chelsea get torn apart. But I will say, to counter it, they are under a completely different manager now. And they've never played in a midfield 2 together under any other manager than Frank Lampard. And I think I'm making a lot of comments about Lampard. And I will say, I think he's an incredibly smart man who will go on to be a great manager. But under Lampard the last season and a half, Chelsea's midfield had about as much structure as a waterfall. So I don't think it's fair to say Kante and Kovacic, I think basically what I'm saying is under Tuchel, they could turn into a really devastating partnership. And I think Kovacic is a mature player who has shown an ability to sit back a bit. So watch that space.
I find, looking at the Kante Kovacic partnership, I know that kind of partnership. I know what that feels like because, we've had that kind of partnership at Rovers before with certain players. We've had the sort of box-to-box playmaker in Matt Smith on loan from Man City, and we've had when he's played in there a couple of times, we've had AJ Greaves, who's a good youth academy player, who's kind of like our Conte in a way. He's like an aggressive defensive attacking playmaker who irritates the hell out of opponents. So I know what that feels like, having that kind of player playing alongside someone like Kovacic, who's a box-to-box playmaker like a Matt Smith, or maybe that holding sort of midfield playmaker like a John Bostock like we've got, which is kind of like our Jorginho type player. So I can kind of see which partnership works and which doesn't, but again, it all depends on the system because, I don't think we're going to see that Greaves partnership for us anymore because, of course, Darren Moore's gone. But it'd be interesting to see how that partnership works under Thomas Tuchel.
Sloan, I think Kante had 81% had 81% passing accuracy against Man United. I think.
Yeah.
Can I just say something quickly about your midfield,
Go on,
though?
Ant.
Can I just say something about your midfield, though? I think, personally, our best midfield is Kante, Kovacic and Mount. If you play 2 holders and then one attacking
I
midfielder and Mount.
disagree.
And the reason I say that is because, you know, you have a consistent youngster. So if Mount is just consistent right now, imagine him in the future. He's going to whip that armband in seconds. In seconds.
We
He
really.
will. 1 second, Will. 1 second. And the reason why I think that is your best midfield, there's a lot of structure in the pivot. And you have Kante, who, in my opinion, is the best DM in the world on this day. Personally, I don't care if anyone disagrees. I think he is, honestly. Kovacic, top class player, serial winner. We know what he's won. I don't need to go into detail. The guy's a beast on his day. I'd say, as a whole and as a unit, the 3 of them together are inconsistent now. And I think even with Jorginho and Kovacic's and Kante in the midfield, I don't think there's any real push or max or risen buzz to that whole midfield. I don't really see anything exciting about it. I think with Mount, you get that young push in Mount because he's young. He has pace. He has strength. We saw against Man United, he was putting people like McTominay, who are 6'4" on the floor, with ease. And you know,
True,
it had to take 2 midfielders to stop him. But Will, what are your thoughts about that, man?
My thoughts on that. I think in a 4-2-3-1 with Kovacic and Kante, I think as you're restricting them both slightly in a way, I think we struggle to progress the ball. If I'm being honest, I think Jorginho and Kovacic's progressive passes are very impressive per 90. I think we just, I don't know. I hate the 4-2-3-1. I can't stand it. I like good old Sarri 4-3-3.
I can second that. I can second that notion because I know we've lost 4 out of the last 5, and that's a factor in why Moore's gone now, because we played the 4-2-3-1. We played with the wingers, we played with the cam, the 2 midfielders behind the cam, and the 1 holding striker, and we didn't. In terms of during defeats, we didn't change the tactics. And I think that looking at the 4-2-3-1, I don't see that as a very attacking formation. I think maybe you could go with a 4-3-3 and have that Mason Mount in front of a partnership consisting of either Kovacic, Kante or Jorginho. I think with Jorginho, looking at him, I think he is a defensive, holding box-to-box kind of player sometimes. And I look at the transfer market. If people want Jorginho to go, and he does end up going in the summer, there's a few players out there that I think would fit the system. They're not these massive 100 million world-class names.
There's
one name that I picked out in particular that I sort of came across over the last few months is, I can't remember what club he's at, but it's called Xavier Schlager.
Wolfsburg.
Wolfsburg, that's the one. He's a really good box-to-box midfielder, does the job. If you wanted one of those dirty buggers who'll just sit at the back and do the donkey work, then you'd be looking at someone again who does the job. Again, not a world-class name, and I've said this about Man United to replace Matic. I would like to see Luka Mojovic in a big team shirt, because I think he's a leader. I think he's done the donkey work. I think he's a penalty kick taking masterclass, and I think that, you know, people like Zaha and Milivojevic done the job for Crystal Palace, so they can rebuild the likes of Eze and other players. But I think Milivojevic deserves a shot.
Aaron, can I touch on that? Can I touch on that quickly? As a Man United fan, I'd be real as possible. There are way better midfielders than the ones we have at the moment. I think there are even better players than, you know, Donny, Fred, McTominay. These are players that we are utilising well. Because if we didn't utilise them well, where would they be at the moment? We wouldn't be where we are.
So the problem with Donny van de Beek is I don't think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer wanted him. I think it was the Glazers wanting to sell the shirts.
He didn't want him. It's not that he wants him out, though. And it's not that he wants him out,
He's
though.
going to try and utilise him. He's going to try and utilise him the best he can. But I think Donny van de Beek would probably, if they didn't want him to come to United, I think Donny van de Beek best suits a different team, whether it's in the Premier League, whether it's abroad. You know, I think he best suits a different team.
Do you reckon
I would like to have seen Donny van de Beek playing in that Ozil role at Arsenal. I think he would have carried Arsenal with the likes of Saka and Aubameyang.
I agree, and I'll not continue on the midfield though. I think personally,
may I ask Alex a question about a player? May I ask him a question?
Let me just wrap up on the United midfield first. I'm gonna say that yes, I like McTominay and Fred. I think they've been key to us in the past 2 seasons when they've played together. Do I think that there are better players than them? Yes, of course there are. But the reason why I rate Ollie so highly is because he's utilised the players that he has in front of him instead of nipping out continuously, getting a player in this position there, selling this one and moving and someone in. And it's just, he's utilised what he has. And the thing is, I don't see Ollie going in and getting a DM that's better than those 2 players. What I see him doing is getting someone who can hold down that DM role by themselves. But in terms of quality and all-round ability and what they bring to the team, I don't think it's going to be as presentable or as visually seen as what Fred and McTominay bring to the team. Because I see it consistently what they bring. But do we lose games? Yes, with them in the team. But will it be a level of that player that you're talking about? I don't think he will.
I agree with that, and I think that one of the main areas with me with McTominay and Fred is development. And the reason why I say development is I don't want to see them just being the protection for the back 4 with the fullback sucking in to create like 4 centre-backs instead of 2 centre-backs and the fullbacks. I want to see McTominay doing what he does best as well as coming back and defending. And that is you can protect the centre-backs and the fullbacks if you wanted to, but you can always push out wide. And I like to see what McTominay does best. I think what Fred does best as well. They run in front of Bruno Fernandes, not just behind him. So if they're going to go with the 4-2-3-1, they're going to stick with McTominay and Fred as the long-term centre midfield partnership behind the likes of Bruno Fernandes or Donny van der Beek. And I've said this on the Football Terrace as well. I think the best thing to do if Pogba's staying as well, if McTominay and Fred can't always play them not as CDMs, but as box-to-box midfielders, box-to-box playmakers, both attacking and defending, because then you can have multiple different partnerships if they're injured or suspended. Like, let's say if you've got McTominay and Fred, you've also got Pogba, who is a box-to-box playmaker, both attacking and defensive. You've got Donny van der Beek, who's a box-to-box player. So you can have the partnerships consisting of those 4 players. It means that Matic can go on to a different club, play first-team football, get the football he deserves, because I think that he needs a rejuvenation somewhere in Europe. And I feel like with the range of midfielders like Pogba, McTominay, Van der Beek, Fred, and maybe even a 5th player, whether that is someone from the youth academy breaking into the first team a couple of times in the Cup or the Europa League or the Champions League if they get back in this season, whether it's a 15, 20, 25 million pound teenager, whether that's a Camavinga, because Camavinga is a CDM, but he can also play box to box. So you can utilise him attacking and defensively. So let's say you bring in Camavinga to bring that into the mix. You rotate those roles. You create these multiple variations of partnerships. That gives Man United's midfield not just a defending intent, but attacking intent, and also a variation of partnerships, which creates a lot more chemistry and fluidity in the team, which makes them, in my opinion, perform better because the midfield defends opposition's attacks and also bees the maestros to create the attacks, which could get them goals.
Players get breaks as well. They get a break as well, but like I said, we have players like Fred who aren't 110% quality and flourish on the ball, but defending, I think he saved their asses a few times. McTominay scoring goals to save their asses a few times, and I think Fred can stay on 90 minutes. He doesn't tend to get tired, but at the same time, injuries can occur out of nowhere. So we get to give them 2 a break. But Will, you want to ask a question?
I might be worried with them.
Yeah, I was just going to hop in. I get you to ask a question as well, but I just wanted to add in the thoughts before that. I was going to say, it's just I was throw out there. I think the best thing a nice thing United could try is Aaron Wan-Bissaka inverting into a CDM. Donny van der Beek starting at CDM and moving out to the right because Wan-Bissaka's a bit weak defensively. Moves in, a bit like Cancelo. I'll leave you that one to think about. Go on, Will, because I know you've been waiting a while.
Yeah, I've been told about a player from the Eredivisie called Koopmeiners, who plays for AZ Alkmaar.
Oh, he's sick.
Very good talent. Very good talent.
I've seen a couple of scout reports on him, and I need to watch the Dutch league more because I know there's a lot of talents there that don't really get recognised much. What are your thoughts on him?
Okay, so yeah, I've seen quite a lot of him. I watch AZ Alkmaar pretty regularly, and there's one thing to look at. There's one, not a negative, but Koopmeiners, one thing to look at. Well, as soon as you see his stats, you see 11 goal contributions as like a centre back / CDM. Take that with a massive pinch of salt. because he takes all set pieces and he's really good at
Yeah,
them.
I with statistics, I like to look at them in context. Yeah, I don't just look at goal contributions.
Yeah. That's just more something to put out there for everyone. But I think Alkmaar as well had like 13 penalties. But yeah, I don't think I think he needs a stepping stone because he's really young. If he's 20, something like that, at Alkmaar, and he's in the Eredivisie this season. The Eredivisie is kind of going through a patch where the top teams are getting a really better, the bottom teams getting left behind a bit. So his competition isn't always quality. But I think Koopman is definitely one to look out for. It's nice you've pointed him out, and I'll keep it short and snappy because I don't want to bang on about a player that a lot of you haven't seen. But keep the name in your mind. He'll probably move to Ligue 1 soon.
I reckon, he could be the great defensive partner to the attacking Ruben Neves at Wolves. I think he could do really well in that midfield, and I think he could provide the defensive aspects to the attacking aspects of Ruben Neves once he's fit and able. What I will say, though, to add on to that, is a young, exciting midfielder that we've got on loan this season from Brighton, who I think is one to watch from the youth as well. 19 years old. His name's Taylor Richards. He's a former Manchester City Youth Academy prospect, and the reason why I point this guy out is he's got the technical centre attacking midfield aspects of a Kevin De Bruyne type player, the 20-yard shot, the technical ability, the dribbling round players, the attacking read of the game, the peripheral vision around the pitch. But he also provides the physical aspects of a CDM at that cam position. He can be as physical as a defensive midfielder in that cam position, creating the technical ability. So that's one name I'd keep your eyes on as well, because I think he's been our player of the season.
Another one as well. There's a I like the underrated players.
Matt Smith as well.
Yeah, Matt Smith is, bro. I was about to speak. Matt Smith. Oh my god, he's
on loan from Man City.
His ball to play in is to die for. It's to die for, man. It's to die for. And talk about City as well.
That's the one on loan from Manchester City, isn't it? That's us.
Yeah. And there's a player called Lucas Nmecha, who's
in Belgium.
Who's a listen. I've had my eye on this kid since the start of the season. He's sick. Would I take him for backup? I'd take him for backup any day. Apparently, he's working on his defensive rate because he in the youth team at City, he was a firm centre mid, either a firm centre mid, box to box, cam, and he could also adjust to a DM if I think Frank Wilson's his name. I think a new breakout called Frank Wilson has literally just entered the squad, and they were playing for like one game, and I remember he had to shift to the DM role because of that. So if he could play DM role as well, but it's not his like comfort position, I'd understand why people wouldn't take him. But bro, he would be sick backup for any team.
Sorry, I was going to add in there. Nmecha he's been watching him actually. He's on loan at Anderlecht this season. He's developing more into a forward player. He's got he's one of the top scorers in Belgium actually. 12 goals, so nice one as well. And to bring up getting all the names brought up from Aaron and Anderson. Will nice little road shouts.
May I have a mini rant? It's a little bit off topic. Yeah, Kai when I go on Kai's stream, he always apparently I pronounce League wrong. But the French league is so underrated, criminally underrated. I absolutely love the French league. It's better technically than the Bundesliga. I'm telling you that now. Bundesliga is so overrated compared to Ligue 1. Yeah,
I agree.
Premier League teams should raid that league for their talents. I swear they're going broke.
I watch Ligue 1 more regularly than Premier League. The reason I've got into football is because I watched League 1, and thank you all for saying that, because a lot of people will write off as a farmers league or Bundesliga as a farmers league or stupid. None of these leagues are a farmers league. They're all incredibly quality leagues. Then League 1. If anyone ever wants to watch,
oh my god, Houssem Aouar. Houssem Aouar is a player. I know I love Kovacic, but I would trade Kovacic for Aouar any day.
Aouar is I think he's better than.
I've no idea how Arsenal didn't pick up Aouar before the end of the window.
I can't believe it.
Because they're trash. Because they're shit. That's why they're shit. When it comes to players.
Because they're run by poor people that don't know how to back a manager and run a football club. That's it's similar to United. They're run by people that don't know how to run a football club but know how to run a business.
I just looked at the European fixtures in the next few days here. Oh my god, what a stacked week! You got Lyon versus Rennes, you got Marseille versus Lille, you got Barcelona, Sevilla, You got Chelsea, Liverpool. Oh my God!
Marseille played good football. I don't care what anyone says. Marseille played good football. And they're really underrated.
They're in a bit of off
hate
troubles at the minute, but
they've
You know
dropped off
Marseille,
massively
though,
this season. Marseille have been they were playing good football last season, but this season they've imagine the 50 minutes against Chelsea v City of Sarri ball where they got beaten 6-0, where they were literally they couldn't they were stringing passes together and they couldn't create a chance. Imagine that stretched over about 6 months. And then imagine your fans invading the training ground and looking to kill your players. Then you've got Marseille this season.
I hate Marseille. Do you know what? Alvaro Gonzalez, honestly, hate him. Can't stand him.
Yeah, but that's you. Yeah, but you. But listen, we can people we hate, but people, we're gonna wrap up the show because it got hella dark in my room. It got really dark in my room.
I will just finally say, you did mention Matt Smith. He is a great baller. I will say that from experience. He's put in those viral passes. He's created that box to box kind of playmaking style. So he's slotted into our midfield really well. I will say that off experience. And if we can step up a bargain price for him, I think Pep Guardiola's lost a bit of a bargain there. I think that's he's one for the future, along with the likes of Taylor Richards. So and Josh Sims from Southampton, got to drop that name in there. I think he's a baller.
Yeah, absolutely. People, the end of the show, it's been a really good one. Really talked about good stuff, new transfers, young players. We'll be doing it more on the afternoon Prem Show. You can catch us every week. We tend to do 1 or 2 every week. So guys, never miss an upload. Hit that notification bell as well. People, with me, GNA TV, thank you very much. And we're out. Peace.
It's like it's playtime and it's free time. In the dance that they have to take a glance. We stepping out the room.